Okay, I can't believe I'm saying this, but the wait is finally over. Superman is out in theaters now, and well, you saw the title of this video. We're so back! I can't describe to you with words how excited I was for this movie. I've been following this film for a very long time, and it is no secret that this movie had a lot of pressure to perform. This film had to set up the DC universe, it had to get people back into DC in general after all the bullshit Zack Snyder put out back in the day, and it had to get doubters to fall in love with Superman, because there is a concerning amount of people who think he is a boring character. And if for whatever reason this movie flopped, the DCU was probably cooked. So yeah, expectations could not have been higher, and it makes me happy to say that James Gunn has yet to let us down. This film does such a good job at making you feel like you are inside of a comic book. Superman is flying all over the place, there's kaijus, there's flying dogs. It really feels like you escaped and entered a completely different world. This is something I personally found to be very rare in comic book movies. Most Batman movies do a pretty good job since Gotham is pretty much a character in and of itself, but pretty much every Marvel movie ever really just feels like our regular old world, except now there's a naked silver lady with a surfboard in the sky. And just the idea of exploring this world even more gets me so excited. Up until now, most if not all Batman movies have been very grounded. So I want to see what this world's version of Gotham looks like. I want to see what Atlantis looks like. There's just so much stuff to explore, and I genuinely have not been this excited for the future of any comic book cinematic universe since I watched The Avengers for the first time all the way back in 2012. And I gotta say, it just feels good to be a comic book fan right now. But okay, I have a question. David Cornsweet, and this is a genuine question by the way, did they just grab a Superman comic and like shake it really hard until he popped out? Because if you try to tell me that's not what happened, I'm telling you right now, I don't believe you. This man is not perfect for the role of Superman. No, he is Superman. Even when he's doing press, he acts like Superman, and I'm not exaggerating. Go watch any interview with him, you'll see what I'm talking about. Weirdly enough, if you go back and watch the trailers, they never really show Superman smiling, which was a little spooky at the time. But no, he has the smile, he definitely has the charisma, and most importantly, he has that heart of gold. This version of Superman cares so deeply about life and helping people, and he just makes you feel good. He makes you want to be good, which is really everything Superman should do. This is also the most different Clark and Superman have looked in any live-action Superman film. This Clark looks like an absolute dweeb, and most of it is solely because of his appearance. His hair is a mess, his clothes are big and kind of hide his muscles a little bit, and his glasses are so big it almost makes his eyes look a little bigger. But then his mannerisms are the cherry on top. He has a hunch, he's clumsy, he's a little bit dorky. Look, I'm running out of things to say here. The point is, when it comes to Superman castings, this is as good as it gets. David Cornsweet is Superman. And that's not the only perfect casting in this movie. There are a lot of characters in this film, and all of them are pretty damn good for the most part. Guy is an asshole, and he is hilarious, and I thought they did a pretty good job at utilizing his ring. Hawkgirl doesn't do too much compared to everyone else, but I mean, she's cool, and I'm down to see more of her in the future. But the characters that really stole the show for me, apart from Superman of course, were obviously Lois and Lex, but surprisingly, Mr. Terrific and Ma and Pa Kent. Oh, and of course you can't forget about my dog Krypto. Rachel Brosnahan absolutely kills it as Lois. Every time she was on screen, she acted exactly how I would imagine Lois would act in that situation. And she's definitely got the spunk and intensity that Lois Lane should have. And when these two are on screen together, oh, it's raps. Their chemistry is off the charts, and they give us some of the best scenes in the entire movie. The interview scene that was shown in the trailer specifically was very clearly my second favorite scene in this entire film. Same thing goes for Nicholas Hoult. His Lex Luthor is such a hateful, bald piece of shit, and I fucking love him to death. You can tell this version of Lex genuinely thinks he is better than not just Superman, but everyone around him, and I am so glad they got this part of his character right. His hatred for Superman runs off of his envy for Superman, and they do an excellent job at portraying this in the movie. Mr. Terrific got way more love than I think any of us were expecting him to get. And you know what? That makes me really happy, because I guarantee you this movie is going to spawn a whole new generation of Mr. Terrific fans. He has one of, if not the best action scene in the entire film, and he's hilarious. I'm genuinely glad he got so much screen time. And hey, who knows? Maybe he'll even get his very own movie in the future, or like a TV series. That'd be so cool. Although Krypto is the funniest character in this movie. He had me laughing the entire movie. Like Mr. Terrific, he got way more screen time than I was expecting, and his CGI is scary good. Krypto has been described to be the worst dog in the world many times, and I mean, yeah, he is definitely the worst dog in the world. But there is a scene where he does stand still for a little bit. And I'm gonna be honest, I thought it was a real dog. When I found out that was CGI, I thought my whole life was a lie. But alright, Ma and Pa Kent. I want to give these two as much love as possible because I'm not seeing enough people talk about how great these two are. Ma Kent is the sweetest lady you will ever see in your entire life. And then Pa tries to act, a little tougher, a little harder, but in reality he's a teddy bear on the inside. And then when Ma calls him out on it and they have a little banter on screen, I had a dumbass smile glued to my face the whole time. And I really, really want to talk about this scene, so brief spoilers. You can skip to the timestamp on screen if you haven't watched this movie yet and you want to go in completely blind. But Clark and Pa's conversation after he gets out of the pocket universe, where he tells him how he could not be prouder of his son, had my eyes fogging up a little bit. And it's by far my favorite scene in this movie. And then at the end, where he watches all the videos of him growing up with Ma and Pa, instead of the message his biological parents left for him, it is just beautiful, and that is genuinely what I love about James Gunn as a director. Apart from his incredible close-ups that make punches feel powerful and fight scenes feel extremely fast, he always nails the emotional aspect of his films. No matter how much shit is going on in his films, he always gives those emotional beats time to breathe and time to sit with the viewer, which is what I personally find to be what makes his films truly special. He killed it in Guardians 3 and he killed it here as well. But okay, back to spoiler free. I could praise this movie for hours upon hours, but I will say it is not a perfect movie. This movie has a tiny bit of pacing issues. In the beginning of the movie, they hit you with something similar to a Star Wars opening crawl, where they pretty much just lore dump on you, telling you about Clark's life and the events that have gone down before the movie takes place. And right after that, you just dive right in. Literally. For some movies, this isn't an issue, but here they very briefly tell you about a lot of very important stuff that really should be explored to a much deeper level. So when they fully throw you into the middle of everything for the first few minutes, there's a lot of shit already going on with the current conflicts and the conflicts that started way before the movie even takes place, which was a little overwhelming at first, and it makes you feel kind of lost or like you're missing context despite having read everything the movie just told you. Luckily, after 20 minutes or so, things start to get a little clearer and it's smooth sailing from there on out. My only other negative about this movie isn't actually about this movie. It's about The Flash. I am a lot higher on The Flash than most people. Hell, I'll admit, I kinda like The Flash. Ignoring all the real world shit, I think it's a fun watch. But I also understand that a big percentage of the people who hate The Flash didn't even watch the movie. This number proves my point. And look, don't get it twisted. Superman is a way better movie in every way, shape, and form. I don't think these two are even remotely on the same level. But they are kind of similar in some ways. There, I said it. Overall, I think this movie will do what it was meant to do. I believe it'll successfully get a lot of fans back after the Snyder movies, and I believe it set a really strong foundation for future projects. This movie is not perfect, but it's also not just a movie. It's the heart of something much bigger, and I genuinely believe this is the best movie they could have possibly made. I hope this film changes the minds of the people who think Superman is a boring character, because that simply couldn't be further from the truth. And I also hope this movie makes a fuck ton of money, because I'm trying to see as much of this universe as possible. Anyways, I'm giving Superman a 9 out of 10. I could go 9.5, but I'm gonna let it sit with me a few days, maybe get a few rewatches in, and then I'll see if I put it that high. But if you haven't watched this movie, please go watch it.